take a look at one of America's best-loved institutions. For a few minutes, suppose we join the crowds who each year take time off from the workaday world to become part of that great annual phenomenon we call the New York State Fair. This is a fair with rich traditions. And what could be more traditional than the colorful harness races, the time-honored sport of all fairs? Yes, it's a sight to bring joy to the heart of every horse lover, for these are the nation's greatest trotters. They're off, and reflected in the flashing hoofs of these thoroughbreds, the tense excitement of the crowds and the consummate skill of the drivers is the very spirit of the fair, the spirit of competition, the spirit that says, this is our best. Yes, to see the best, one goes to the fair, whether it be the best trotter or the best light horses or even the best draft horses. This vanishing breed is a casualty of progress. But though the tractor may replace the team on the farms of the state, no man-made monster will ever take its place in the hearts of the farmer. For the dairyman, the high spot of the fair is the cattle show, referred to as the finest and largest in the world. For the fair is a place where nature rubs elbows with technology, art with science, the new with the old, and every inch of it is downright fascinating. From an even more distant past come the arts of the Iroquois Indians, including authentic ceremonial dances. While not far away, a troop of Boy Scouts perform the same dances, making up in vigor what they lack in authenticity. A popular spot with every New York State Fair visitor is the Better Homes Show in the Manufacturers and Liberal Arts Building. Here, New York State's commerce and industry are on display. Here, the housewife finds genuine help in the art of homemaking, and friend husband develops a sudden interest in electric dishwashers, ironers, and the like. And in the Grange Building, the New York State Fair plays host to this, the largest farm organization in the state. A newer State Fair innovation is the fly and bait casting tournament, conducted in the lagoon off Empire Court, with separate prizes for oldsters and youngsters, experts and novices. One of the high spots of State Fair Week is Governor's Day, when the chief executive pays his traditional visit to the fairgrounds. The governor is a spectator too, and before he leaves, he'll tour the entire grounds. But his first duty is to address the crowd that always gathers in Empire Court.
The fair is one of the biggest and most important and finest things in the state of New York.
But the fair has its lighter side, and all the time-honored trappings can be found in the amusement area.
Stand back there, boy, stand back there. Keep away from that. Get away there. What's the idea hanging on those ropes over there? You want to pull that up?
Each year, there is something new and more thrilling in the way of rides. But for the more conservative fairgoer, there is always the Ferris wheel, the merry-go-round, and of course the traditional barker.
All on the inside, folks. We try to give you a little idea of the fine, high caliber of our show. What you see here is only a small sample of what's in store for you on the inside. The show's just about ready to start. Don't go away from the State Fair without giving yourself a treat to the biggest and best show on.
By night, the fair is even more glamorous. Thousands of colorful lights turn the grounds into a huge fairyland. In fact, some of the high spots of the entire week take place in the evening, like the crowning of the State Fair Queen, a competition which always brings out the most beautiful girls in the state. And then, to close each day, a huge display of fireworks. Making this year's New York State Fair even more fun will be the State Championship Square Dance competition. Top square dance teams from all over the state will compete in the finals, and some of the nation's top folk artists will entertain the crowds. Another new feature of the 1951 fair will be the daily fashion shows. Here, the feminine State Fair visitors will get an insight into the fabulous new fashions for the matron, her junior, and the teenage miss. Besides the creations of leading designers, there will be ideas on how to make your own clothes at home. And of course, the 4-H girls will once again conduct their own fashion show. This is an institution of long standing at the fair. These dresses are made by the girls themselves, and prizes are awarded annually for the best work. There's something to interest everyone at the fair. Popular with every homemaker are the professional cooking demonstrations in the Harriet May Mills building. And for the second year, a statewide fine arts and prints show will occupy a portion of the manufacturer's building. But for action, daring, and thrills, many State Fair visitors consider the high spot of the week to be the 100-mile AAA-sanctioned National Championship Auto Race on the final afternoon of the fair. The greatest drivers in the business, champions of the Indianapolis Speedway, receive their final instructions from Ira Vale, venerable director of the race. The track gets a final going over, and a layer of calcium is applied to hold down the dust. There's tension even in the press box as the moment for the big race approaches. These powerful cars have no self-starters and no transmissions, automatic or otherwise. And so they have to be cranked with a special detachable motor and pushed onto the track by the pit crews. Around the track for the warm-up. There's a few short minutes in which to get into proper position. Then the pace car leaves. The crowd is tense now, and there's the starting flag indicating that the race is underway. The track is exactly a mile long, and 100 times around at better than 100 miles an hour is a long, hard grind. Drivers themselves easily lose track of their position and have to be kept informed by blackboards in the hands of pit crews. Occasionally, a car is forced out for a while with danger at every curve. Little wonder that these races attract such huge crowds. For thrills, excitement, tension mounting with every mile, you can't beat these demons of the dirt track. Down comes the checkered flag, and the crowd lets go with a cheer. Instantly, the news is flashed across the country, and another 100-mile race is history. Yes, the New York State Fair is an exposition steeped in tradition, filled with thrills and excitement, as New York State mobilizes its productive power and wealth in a show window that is big, colorful, and action-packed. The 105-year-old New York State Agricultural and Industrial Exposition offers something for everyone. That's what makes it so much a part of New York State life. In premiums offered to exhibitors alone, the New York State Fair exceeds every other state fair in the nation. The 8 days and 8 nights of this year's fair will be packed as always, with hundreds of events to interest every state fair visitor. And none will be disappointed, for everyone leaves the fairgrounds looking forward to next year's State Fair Days.